Is Will your husband?
Will is my life partner.
I retire from trying to make you happy.
I think she liked the lifestyle.
That she cried at her, quote, horrible wedding.
Go make yourself happy and prove to me that it's even possible.
16-year-old Jada Smith would first meet Tupac Shakur while selling drugs at the Baltimore School for Arts in Maryland. Jada and Tupac would quickly become close friends and spend much of their remaining time in high school together. Oddly enough, they would dance on camera while lip-syncing Will Smith, Jada's future husband's song, Parents Just Don't Understand. However, before graduation, their paths would diverge, with Tupac moving to California to pursue a music career, and Jada dropping out of school to pursue a career in acting. As their respective stardom began to rise, the two often leaned on each other for support, and according to Jada, we were always trying to look for opportunities to work together. One of these opportunities became a reality, with Tupac appearing on the television show A Different World, a show Jada Smith played a reoccurring role on. According to a 2018 episode of Jada Smith's Red Table Talk, Will saw Jada's performance on A Different World and instantly felt chemistry with the actor. Wanting to meet her, he arranged to attend a taping of the show. However, the person who introduced them was there with another woman named Cherie Zampino. Will would say on Red Table Talk that, "I went to Different World to meet Jada and met Cherie and ended up marrying Cherie and having Trey." However, the couple divorced after 3 years of marriage, and according to Will, the minute the divorce was final, he called Jada and told her, "You're seeing me now." Jada and Will's relationship started while Tupac was serving a 4-year prison sentence for a fan. However, he would be released on bail after serving only 8 months. Jada's close relationship with Tupac would prove to be difficult for Will from the beginning of their relationship, with Will saying in his 2021 memoir that his mind was tortured by her connection with the rapper. "I hated that I wasn't what he was in the world, and I suffered a raging jealousy. I wanted Jada to look at me like that." Will's memoir goes on to say that he had been in the room with Tupac on multiple occasions, but never spoke to him because the way Jada loved Pac rendered me incapable of being friends with him. I was too immature. However, according to Jada, Tupac became a different person in prison, and they had a, quote, very hardcore falling out. Soon after this falling out, Tupac would die in an infamous shootout in Las Vegas.
It was beyond friendship, the type of relationship we had. You only get that once in a lifetime.
Jada would later describe this as her taking a huge loss in her life, going on to explain that she believed Tupac was going to be here for the long run. However, life went on, and the next year she married Will while 3 months pregnant with their first child, Jaden Smith. And 2 years later in the year 2000, they welcomed their first daughter, Willow Smith. The next 10 years would be fairly tame for both Will and Jada, with them regularly working as actors and raising their children. It wouldn't be until the 2010s when headlines started focusing on their personal relationship more than their acting roles. One of the first instances being when Jada mentioned on a 2011 episode of her show Red Table Talk that her 40th birthday party was a turning point for their relationship. According to Jada, Will hired Mary J. Blige to perform at the party and even screened a documentary film about Jada's family lineage, a film that reportedly took Will 3 years to create. Apparently, Jada was struggling to come to terms with turning 40, and Will thought this party he was throwing her was going to be the thing that lifted her out of this midlife crisis. It was going to be my deepest proclamation of love. However, Jada didn't receive the gesture warmly, and according to Will, she told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego. Crushed, right? Following this, the couple would break up, but get back together with new rules for their relationship. People would later reference this new rules quote after Jada told Huffington Post in 2013 that she's always told Will, "You can do whatever you want, as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror and be okay." People interpreted this quote to mean that they had an open marriage, something that fans and tabloids would routinely speculate for years to come. This would be made worse once Jada Smith took a trip to London to watch her son Jaden perform at the Wireless Music Festival and meet Jaden's 22-year-old friend and singer August Alsina. Jada would continue to be photographed hanging out with August, and he would even join the Smith family on their family vacation to Hawaii in 2015. It was around this time that Will would shut down rumors that the two were getting divorced by saying, "Our marriage is the most difficult, grueling, and excruciating thing we've taken on in our lives. We're just not quitters." This quote turned heads as it denied their divorce, but also painted their relationship negatively. To use words like difficult is one thing, but grueling and excruciating to describe the relationship with your spouse had many people question why they didn't just separate. However, the two stayed together, even though Jada attended the 2017 BET Awards as August Alsina's date. This sparked rumors that the two were dating, with many people referencing that Huffington Post quote, claiming that the two must be in an open relationship, especially after Will celebrated their 20th anniversary by saying, "20 years ago today, we held hands and walked naively down the aisle. Love is like gardening. I have learned to focus on helping you to blossom into what you want to be, rather than demanding that you become what my fragile ego needs you to be." By this point, many people had grown tired of Will and Jada's relationship, as it seemed as if the two couldn't go a year without airing their personal issues publicly. This would be made worse after Will sat down on Tidal's Rap Radar podcast to tell the world, "We don't even say we're married anymore. We refer to ourselves as life partners." To make matters worse, Jada would take to her own show, Red Table Talk, and confess that she regrets her wedding, saying, "I was so upset that I had to have a wedding. I was so I went crying down the aisle getting married." At the time, fans of pop culture were pretty split. One side felt empathetic towards Will, as it seemed he was continuously trying to make Jada happy, to no avail, while the other side had grown sick and tired of hearing about the family, especially since their children had grown up and were in the spotlight with various controversies of their own. However, in 2019, Jada would go live on Instagram in a now infamous stream where she once again aired her frustration towards her husband publicly, after getting a camera in his face and asking if he thinks their marriage counselor has been instrumental in their relationship.
You know Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me
Oh my goodness.
if you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please.
I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Because she don't just...
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start rolling. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch us stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot, can't you tell?
What many people and tabloids took from this stream was that Jada seemingly has no respect for Will's boundaries, telling her audience that she's still dealing with foolishness after Will asked her to not spontaneously throw a camera in his face that's live streaming to Jada's 11 million followers. The next year, August Alsina would sit down for an interview on The Breakfast Club and reveal some behind-the-scenes information about his relationship with Jada, claiming that he sat down with Will Smith and received his blessing to pursue his wife. However, August would soon release a song titled Entanglements, a song seemingly about his relationship with Jada that paints their dynamic with Will being less accepting than previously made out to be, saying, "I'm a pull-up when he dip. He always think me and you if he see me, he gon' trip. Let's be low-key. Girl, I know I up your hair, lay you down and hit it right there. That ain't my girl, but I got the key to the crib and to your car, to the crib and to her heart. I know it's wrong, but it feels right." This led to Jada sitting down with Will on an infamous episode of Red Table Talk, where she admits to cheating on him with August, even revealing that their marriage was over at that time, unbeknownst to Will. This interview is hard to watch, as Will is visibly holding back tears the entire time, images of which would go on to live as a popular meme. Jada would justify her relationship with August by saying, "I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good." This quote would receive backlash, with some claiming that she took advantage of 22-year-old August Alsina, as according to herself, he was in a horrible state, both mentally and physically. Several months later, on another episode of Red Table Talk, Jada would reference her "I just wanted to feel good" quote while describing her sex life with Will Smith to her mother and Gwyneth Paltrow, airing her frustrations in the bedroom by saying, "If you love me, you should read my mind." In October of 2023, Jada announced in a Today Show special that her and Will have been living completely separate lives since 2016. This turned heads, with many people asking if Will was aware of this, especially following the slap heard around the world at the 2022 Oscars. To make matters worse, Jada went on to say that after the slap happened, she was confused because, quote, "We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time." She would go on to say, "I'm really worried for Will because I don't know what's going on." Apparently, Jada assumed it was a planned bit for the show and didn't realize Will actually hit Chris Rock until he returned to his seat and started yelling at him. A couple days after this was revealed, Jada would refer to Tupac as her soulmate, saying that if past lives existed, they have definitely traveled a few together. This announcement, coming after her revealing that she has been separated from Will since 2016, was taken as confirmation for a lot of people who believe that Jada has always been in love with Tupac. From the beginning of her and Will's relationship, Will has felt insecure and challenged by the connection shared between Jada and Tupac, regularly reflecting on their dynamic and saying he wished he could have what she saw in him. Much of their marriage comes across as Will fighting for Jada's affection, lusting to be validated by her, but always coming up short, pushing her further and further away from him. At every step of their relationship, Will was willing to give her everything she wanted, even if what she wanted was another man half her age. Will was happy to support his wife, even at the expense of his reputation. From her gaining ratings on her show by having him on just to tell him she cheated on him, to putting up with his wife publicly discussing how he can't satisfy her in the bedroom, to allowing another man to pursue Jada. There really are no bounds Will Smith wasn't willing to go to in hopes of making his wife happy. In 2015, Will described their marriage as the most difficult, grueling, and excruciating thing they've ever taken on in their lives. And while it's admirable to fight for your relationship, perhaps the two of them would find happiness if they finally and officially separated.